And FICCI has been a partner of ours in every one of those summits, which take place alternately in Washington or here in India, New Delhi. So I want to thank FICCI for its support there. And I also clearly want to recognize and thank our hosts in the Indian Civil Air System, the Ministry, and Secretary Lavasa, who is the strongest partner of ours in this relationship that we have. Secretary Lavasa and his team, looking across AAI, the DGCA, and BCAS, the agencies with which we work most closely, have all been very responsive and active partners with us. And I wanted to share a few reflections about that relationship because clearly Secretary Lavasa is fairly recently to this position, as are the other leaders of the Indian Civil Aviation Agencies, Alok Singha with AAI and Director General Prabhat Kumar. But these new leaders in the system are in many ways, to me, a reflection of how effectively India is responding to the many changes and evolutions going on in the sector. And I just wanted to reflect on a few points about that and how the relationship that we in the US government and US industry have with India are a large part of this ongoing enterprise of the growth of the aviation sector. I think Mr. Dubey from KPMG made a very key point when he said that we're not speaking about aviation for aviation sector in and of itself. Aviation is a sector, it's an industry, it's a service that provides a driver to our economy. Yesterday, my director spoke about the commonalities that India and the US have. We share a common government system. We are both democracies. Ours is the oldest, India's is the largest. Perhaps you could say our aviation system is the oldest. I think our Pan Am Airlines may be the second or third oldest airline in the world, and it doesn't exist today. But India shares a very rich history in aviation as well. Its Tata airline, Tata started airline goes back to the 1930s. So although we have a very strong difference in the evolution of our aviation systems, I think there's actually a very shared common feature there in that rich history. But some of those commonalities, as we look across the aviation sector, also start to emerge with the fact that because of our democracies and because of the nature of our systems, where our economies are driven by growth of the private sector and free enterprise, aviation has to respond to the economy. It helps drive that growth, but it's servicing that growth. It's a response to the popular demand for travel, as we've heard, for tourism, but it's a response to the very real need for economic growth. Business relationships need the fast transportation that aviation provides. Trade requires it more and more. Even if we move most of our goods by truck and by train in India and the US, aviation is critical to many aspects of our trade, mostly at the high end for higher value goods, but increasingly at the very basic level, the movement of food. We see the very important need to respond to these key changes in our economy. The evolution of technology has given us opportunities to continue to increase the capacity for growth in the system. And this is an area where, although we think in large terms about the US system being the most evolved, the most developed, because it is handling the highest capacity, the highest density